beautiful tutorial. In this case, we're going to be analyzing what happens in between these two boats, 116 Lorenzo, 150 Callum. We can see all the fleets sailing to the right. I assume that they're sailing on a lift. You will see right now, you can notice the separation in between two boats. And once again, as it happened in the past with Callum, he's sailing way too high without trimming his sail and having too much tension on his back part. So he's sailing on a high mode, on a slow mode, and Lorenzo is doing the opposite. He's sailing with a boat a little bit to leeward, too much to leeward, with his sail a little bit further out, too much. So Lorenzo is going to be sailing on a low mode, right? So both boats are not sailing on the VMG. They're not sailing with velocity made good. They're either sailing too low and fast or too high and slow. You can see as soon as they get closer, keep an eye on them. Going faster. Now the fleet starts tacking on the right side. So this is a big moment, right? When you choose to cross behind the fleet, you have to know very well whether because you are on opposite tacks, you have to know very well whether they are sailing on a lift or you are sailing on a lift, because both boats are sailing opposite tacks. So one of the two tacks must be better than the other, right? You also need to know where the upwind mark is, because you don't want to get caught on the ley line, right? You see now Lorenzo coming back to before. Lorenzo sailing faster and quicker. Callum not stepping on his boat, not making his boat sail fast, but insisting in pushing. He will end up behind Lorenzo. Both of them not tacking and continuing behind them. And this is crucial. This is the most important moment of the race. Why? You can see where the finish line is, right? Somewhere around here. Clack. Now, if this is the finish line, you can see that if this boat goes straight, he makes it to the finish line. So he is on the ley line. This is one ley line. And where is the other ley line? Let's say it's somewhere there, maybe. So clearly, the whole fleet is closer to the right ley line than to the left ley line. Clearly, there's no one sailing on the left. Maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe the wind is better on the right. Maybe there's too much current on the channel. Maybe the right is better. But are these boats gonna be able to go to the right? I don't know. They may. But maybe if they just follow these three boats and tack behind them, they're just gonna be covered by these three boats. So they're not gonna gain anything on the right. Maybe these three boats are sailing on a lift, which means that the wind maybe now is coming on the right. So the right thing to do right now for Lorenzo and for Callum will be to tack now. Does this mean that they're going to go all the way to a left ley line? No. It means that they will decide to go into the right or into a left ley line later, once the fleet already positioned itself on the ley lines in this case. So you will see, first of all, how Lorenzo rode Callum, right? So Callum, in this point, it's for you obvious that you have to tack. You're being covered and you're crossing behind the fleet when the fleet is on the ley line. But they keep going. Jevian here is in a good position, tacking on the inside, knowing that he's on the ley line. In all this time, all the time he has left to the left, I am pretty sure he's gonna find one of these headers in order to tack, cross in front and finish a race. No need to do this that is only gonna be, let's say, 10 meters, 30 feet too soon. Wait for the best moment to go to the right, because you can only go to the right once. Lorenzo and Callum on their own little fight, both of them not sailing really fast, tugging underneath the fleet, behind the fleet. So maybe now there's a bit of a lane again, so you couldn't tack covered by them, so maybe now could be a good moment to tack. So they are just fighting with each other, tack on top of each other. It's a qualifier, so I don't expect anything less than that. Callum very good that he tagged immediately. And now Lorenzo, if you are really wanting to match race Callum, then the thing to do, now that Callum is on the island, is to come back with him, right? I mean, this is when you're just match racing another boat, which you shouldn't because you're sailing against many other boats. But if you are really match racing him, then pay attention to the video from Finley and Finley and Patrick that I made before, and push him over the ley line, right? But okay, now you have clear wind. You are on the ley line. You should be here, and maybe you would have passed these 3 boats. But okay, you're on the ley line. You got a bit lifted. It was not a big problem. You're on the ley line, so you're still you're with clear air, so you're still sailing fast. But know that the wind is the ley line is very close to you. Now we have Javian. Oh no, Jay, this is exactly what we talked about it, right? In this moment, imagine Jay in this moment here. Once that Patrick is going to the right, imagine Patrick stacks with Finley. Imagine if you would attack right now, then Patrick will be destroyed, and you will continue being the boat protecting the longer tack. But instead of that, you waited a bit too much, you tacked on Finley. So what's going to happen now is that Finley is going to go right, Patrick is going to go left, and you're not going to know who to cover. You should have tacked on top of Patrick and push them, both of them, force both of them to fight with each other, and both of them to go to one ley line. Let's go back to Lorenzo and Callum. There is Callum coming with more clear air than Lorenzo. Lorenzo is now being covered by Javian. This is all dirty air, so you're being covered by Javian. That's why you're sailing slow. Javian now chooses to tack again. Lorenzo, nah, don't tell me that you tacked again behind dirty air. Nah. That is so bad. Javian tacked before you, and you tack now? Oh, no. That's really bad. Okay, but let's see what happens. You're still in front of Callum. Yeah, almost. So where should Lorenzo tack right now? Knowing that the finish line is here, Lorenzo should tack right there in front of Callum. Why? Because he wants to protect the longer tack of the course. Let's see what Lorenzo does. He continues sailing, so he gives Callum a bigger pile of cards to pick from, right? If you are going to the left and this is all the time you have to wait for a right wind shift, and he is going to the left and he has all this time to wait for the right wind shift, well, clearly you're giving him a bigger pile of cards to pick from. Lorenzo continues, getting super deep into the ley line. You can see the mark here. You can see he's on the ley line already. What's going to happen with this? I cannot anticipate that these boats are going to start again tacking with each other, and they will end up coming to the right side. What happens when they come to the right side? More dirty air to Lorenzo and clean air for Callum. Now Jevin is in the middle in between the two boats. If the wind goes left, Patrick wins the left. If the wind goes right, Finley wins the right. Lorenzo is sailing covered like we anticipated, right? Lorenzo once again is sailing covered. That's why Callum is sailing higher. And look, Callum is sailing higher. Well, now he's sailing low. Can't believe, Callum, you're ducking this boat. But the wind is going left. That's why Callum is getting better. Now Callum points down without letting his sail out, which is really bad. But he rolls a little bit the boat. He put himself into trouble because now he's going to have to tack with Lily. And he's going to be a little bit... He's going to struggle a little bit. Why? Because the whole fleet was here. Who's there? No one. Why do we choose to come into a traffic jam? Why are we choosing the supermarket line that has more people behind it? Why don't we just go alone and sail with clear wind and think on the wind shifts? So what happened at the end? The whole fleet, Patrick and Patrick and Finley ended up on the right side. Now if Jay, you do a double tack, then you put your boat in front of them and you really mess up with them, you should not continue sailing, unless you make it to the mark, of course. Okay, good tag there. You fell on the ground. No, you cannot fall on your knees in the most important tag of the whole race. Dude, let go your sail. Tag again, tag again, tag again. I know, two bad tags. Okay, so the wind ended up going right. Let's see who wins the race. It's either Finley and Patrick. Finley makes something really good, which is pushing his boat into the wind in order to cross the line sooner. Look at it. Top. So he won the race because he was more aggressive and smarter on the one-to-one situation. Who's coming on the left side? Only okay, my who's coming on the right side? No, wait. Lorenzo, you are the boat on the left here. This is you. What happened later? Don't tell me that you are here. These boats are all messing up with each other and you tack and duct. No. When you have such a longer tack to go. You have all this longer tack to sail really fast. Hopefully the wind comes back, but you can still have clear wind and you let them fight with each other and sail really slow and you tack below them. Please don't tell me you tacked. Why? Because you like the ride? There's so much more to consider, Lorenzo. Where are you coming, Lorenzo? No, you did tack. So you put yourself behind them? You could be right here. You could be here and you just put yourself behind them when the finish line is there. Oh my God. Lily's coming. Lily almost protested. Luckily, if you weren't, look where Michael is. Michael fourth. Callum 5. Lorenzo that was in front of Callum. Lily 6. MJ 7. So Lorenzo just lost 4 positions. 3 for sure. I don't know about Michael, but 4 positions just by making so many unnecessary tags. Right? So why did Michael won this race in between you? Because it sailed with clear wind. The wind was a little bit on the right? Maybe. Was it smart to make his move? I think it would have been smarter to wait for the wind to come back in the longer tack. But if the wind goes right, yes, it's smart to make this move. Now, it's definitely better than do a million tags and tack with each other on the fleet on the center. So either you tack on the inside and you wait for the wind to go, or you stay away from the fleet. But doing a million tack with the fleet on the center, it never pays off. Now, if this guy would have got a big lift, he would have been over the ley line and Lily would have won. So it's not a good idea to come so close to the ley line so soon. But it's a better idea than tack a million times. What is the best idea? To play the shifts and wait for the best moment to come right. Because you can only do that once.